Comments?
I have a question, Darren. What is the status of the USS United States? I've been hearing on news that I guess the Coast Guard was concerned if they could get it here, and so what is the status?
Well, it's interesting. They had Coast Guard approval, and then all of a sudden someone from that area expressed an interest, and then they didn't necessarily have Coast Guard approval. So they're working through that with attorneys in regards to the release of the ship, but they had gone through all their inspections initially and had Coast Guard approval. Our commitment to Okaloosa County, and we'll be very clear with this, is based on that ship being reefed in the right location, you know, the appropriate location. And until that happens, we won't be releasing any funds because, you know, it's going to be a process and things can happen and there can be delays. So, you know, first thing I have to do is get it released out of Philadelphia, bring it down the coast. It'll be remediated in Mobile, and then from Mobile it'll be brought down and sunk. So part of our partnership is to be part of that, to be able to document and get photo and video content and be part of the reefing and as part of how we market and tell that story nationally and internationally.
Right.
So we're waiting, and they're working on it, but our commitment is based on it happening.
I got a question.
Yes.
Darren, do you know how far from the Oriskany this will be sunk, or like what's the location of it compared to the Oriskany?
I have a note on that. Let me just, so it basically, right now, let's start with the USS Oriskany. So the Oriskany is located about 24 miles from the Pensacola Pass, and the Oriskany is 34 miles from the Destin Pass. The SS United States will be about 21 miles from the Destin Pass, 30 miles from the Pensacola Pass. The distance between the two ships is 12 miles. So when you dive a ship like that and you come back up, you need an hour before the next dive. And so diving both ships in a day is very possible. You take that hour to go from one ship to the other ship, then to do your second dive. And wouldn't even have gone down this path unless we had the commitment, and it's an acceptable distance and within the dive community. So we walked through all of that first before we started talking to Marine Resources, before talking to Okaloosa County. So 12 miles between the two.
And then is there a chance, or is this already a done deal to say, hey, we don't want it 12 miles, we'd like it 6 miles from, or, you know, just so it's closer to Pensacola Pass than it is to Destin Pass?
Who made the decision?
There are locations that are approved based on the depth the ships need to be sunk at, and since Okaloosa County is paying a large amount of the money, most of the money, $10 million versus our $1 million plus marketing dollars, you know, there's going to be a little give and take on that. But originally, the thought is that location that they're looking at, that is one of their approved locations, is about 30 miles from our pass.
I got you. And then the request you have here, if you go back to Okaloosa County, is that does that lock it in, or does that still is there RFP to, like, are they negotiating with Destin and with us, or how's that?
I'm sure they've been in conversation with them. I think while we're not financially at the same level, I think it makes a lot of sense to look at the marketing partnership that we can do between the two counties. And what happens now with the recommendation support of the TDC, this still has to go before the Board of County Commissioners. And with that approval, I can then submit a proposal to Okaloosa County.